Hello, this is Breach Burke, and this is my introduction to the Azrael channeling videos. I advise people to watch this first before they jump into the first session. A little bit by way of explanation of what's going on here. Now, I've done a separate video on my connection to Archangel Azrael, so I won't reiterate, excuse me, and go over all that ground again with regard to Azrael. But what's been happening more recently is I've been feeling more called to have a conversation, to have a conversation with him, or at least to have him talk through me in a way. I always feel like Azrael is, I've talked about this a lot in terms of my connection to spirits, is that I always feel like I'm the horse in a way, and they're the rider. That sounds weird, or I'm the vehicle of some kind. So I always feel like Azrael is kind of back here, and so he's almost behind me, and I'm hearing what he says. It's almost like he's saying it into my ear, and I'm saying it out loud. So that's the way a lot of these work. I do feel sometimes I do feel it as a very strong energy on the top of my head. Sometimes it kind of radiates throughout my head and through my body. So in some of these videos, I kind of move around a bit or put my head in my hands, because there's just a very strong sensation that is connected to that. Now, the messages that come through are just what comes through. Some of the videos, it may seem like it goes a little bit slowly. You may think like, okay, there's some gaps of silence. I've thought about cutting those gaps out of the videos, but I think sometimes there's other things that are going on. The people I've had who have previewed some of these videos before they have gone to the public have said, yeah, there's definitely something going on here, and you don't necessarily want to cut that out, because sometimes things are going on visually in the background or around that may give as much information as the actual messages themselves, the actual words that come out. The messages seem to be, they're meant to be for a broader audience. Occasionally something will come through that I think might be for an individual who's watching, and I don't know who that would be. It's just sometimes something will come up that seems very individual to me, and sometimes I will say that. And in the space that I'm in, I will sometimes feel that sometimes the voice just comes through. Other times it's more like, if I don't hear anything coming through, I may actually say something. I may actually ask a question. I may say, okay, Azrael, you talked to me about this. I use other methods to connect with Azrael as well. I use, I've made a card deck for myself in the angelic language, which is called Enochian. And it's actually only a partially complete deck at this point. I need to make it bigger. But for right now, I still have 120 cards. I have 120 words to play with the angels. So I've been working with that deck as well. And occasionally, I've been told there's been certain words and things. I'm not going to say it's a regular thing, but in some of these videos, words will come out that don't sound like English words. And when I have researched some of the words, they do appear to be Enochian words. So those sometimes will come through. And even though I'm very conscious and cognizant of the whole process while I'm sitting here, I'm not always aware of what I'm saying. So I'm just saying what seems to come through. Sometimes it seems to come through in my voice. You hear me clearing my throat now. I mean, yeah, there's allergies and stuff, but sometimes too, I almost feel like the voice is trying to push through. So I'm like clearing my voice. So, clearing my throat, clearing the throat chakra, clearing all that energy out. So yeah, so it's a rather, this is I call this really somewhat of an experiment, because this kind of mediumship is something that's very new to me. So again, it does seem like, sometimes it seems like it kind of gets a slow start and then it kind of gets going. So yeah, listen to the messages and take them for what they are. I, at the moment, am presenting them without any kind of interpretation, because I don't always know that it's my job or role to be an interpreter, at least not as of the time I'm recording this video. Maybe that will change over time if I feel like people might be, if my gut feeling, or if I'm getting the message that people might be misunderstanding those messages, then I will probably go back and rethink how I'm I might come back and try to do some level of interpretation post video. So anyway, definitely check these videos out, see what you think, have a listen and a watch, and see what you pick up on. Obviously, if you pick up on anything that maybe I haven't noticed, I mean, feel free to comment on it. But I don't pretend that these things are anything other than what they are. It's just, this is Azrael saying, okay, make some time, let me talk through you. And sometimes that connection, maybe probably less because of him, maybe more because of me. I'm trying to, I may consider myself the imperfect medium in some ways, but just as it comes up, I say what comes up. And and again, I don't always know what it means. I'm not necessarily saying with an eye towards trying to interpret or understand it as it comes out. So take it as it resonates. I am going to try to get into some sessions where I ask some specific questions of Azrael. So maybe things that maybe seem a little diffuse might be a little more organized. But for the moment, at least the first sessions that are being released, some of them are just released without me asking any questions or any kind of editorializing or asking Azrael about a specific thing, because I feel like he needs to tell me, or he's trying to say through me, whatever it is he wants to say to you. So, take it as it resonates and see what you think. Don't want this introduction to be too long, but just wanted to give you a little backdrop as to why I'm getting into this and why I'm doing this. And I'm doing it a bit, I wouldn't say reluctantly. I'm not reluctant to do it, but it's just, I'm still figuring out what to make of it. So maybe we'll figure it out together. So anyway, I hope that these videos are enlightening in some way. And you can always let me know what you think.